And that's what I'd like to talk about right now. What constitutes a great person or a great athlete? The first thing is dreams. Dreams are so important. We forgot to dream anymore. Dreams are magic, absolutely magic. The dreams of the day are the realities of tomorrow. If you can dream, there's nothing you can't do in life. I promise you that. I'd like to tell you a story about the most significant person I've ever met in my life. It occurred 14 years ago. It was my first day teaching. And I teach at an all-black school in Albany, Georgia, called Albany State University. I love it there. And of course, my first teaching assignment, I was so excited about this. I had been in sports psychology, and I had traveled all over the world, but teaching was my goal in life. I really wanted to teach because I think this: in life, to be a good person, you have to help others. That's what's really important. And I was really excited. I came to class early, about 10 minutes early. The kids started coming in. I was all excited about meeting me and everything. And this one black girl came in, and she had this raggedy old shirt on and these torn up jeans. And her sneakers had been worn through, and I could actually see the socks coming out of the side of her sneakers. And she had ketchup and mustard all over her shirt. I said, what the heck is this? And her hair, I don't know what the hell her hair was. Could have been afro puffs, dreadlocks. I don't know what the hell it was. It looked like she did it with a weed eater, I'm telling you. And she came in and she never looked at me. She had her head down and she walked and she sat right in the back of the room. I said, man, what is this? Anyway, I started talking. And then I noticed out of the corner of my eye, everything I said, this girl wrote down. Everything. I mean, if I said, man, it's hot in here, Elaine would write that down. And then I started having these feelings towards Elaine. I thought, like, I'm really getting good vibes from this girl. You ever do that when you're talking to somebody, you just feel good about this person? And I started thinking, I said, damn, Elaine might not have nice clothes, but this girl has character. And I remember my father saying that. It's not a person's clothes that are important, it's the person that's important. I started thinking, this must be Elaine. You know, she might not have a lot of nice clothes, because she would wear the same clothes every day almost. Seriously. Same sweatshirt, same jeans, same sneakers. So I said, this must be it. And I really actually started preparing my lectures just for Elaine. I was so excited about her. And then the first test rolled around. And I was really excited about this because I didn't know how the other students were going to do, but I knew for sure, I knew positively for sure that Elaine was going to do good. And after that test, I grabbed those tests and I ran down to my office. I filed through those tests looking for Elaine's paper. And I found it, and I started reading it. I said, oh my God, brain damage. This girl looked like she did that test in crayon. I mean, she couldn't even put a sentence together. I was so mad, so irate, that I went looking for her. Because I was going to tell her, look, Elaine, you're just wasting your time. You need to drop out of college. Because at that time, I was a pompous ass. I really was. I actually went to the girls' dorm to find this girl. I got her out of the girls' dorm, and I brought her down to my office. And I sat her down and said, Elaine, what do you want? And she said something that was magic. She said, Judd, all I want to do is matter. I want to count. I want to stand for something. I cry easy, believe me. I know I'm crying here. Because what motivates me is when ordinary people do extraordinary things. And this girl was an ordinary person that did something extraordinary. Let me tell you what happened. When she said that, it just won my heart. She never said I want a degree. Let me tell you this about degrees. Degrees don't mean anything. Some of the stupidest people I've ever met in my life have PhDs. I'm serious. I got one. And some of the wisest people I've met in my life don't even know what a PhD is. And that's the truth. Don't be fooled by degrees. What's important in life, the purpose of life is to not read or write. How she got to college is beyond me. I don't know that. But every day at 12 o'clock, she would come to my office, and I would tutor her. I was teaching her how to read. We actually were using, believe it or not, second grade readers for her to read. I noticed something else. I was writing a lot at that time. So I'd go to the library early in the morning. Guess who was there? Elaine. She was there trying to study. And now I'd go late at night to get research. After my classes and after I worked out, guess who was there? Elaine. Every day she would do that. Every day. Well, that first quarter, in my class, I don't know, she did really bad. She probably got a G in there, you know, 1 below F. I mean, it was terrible. But I cheated for her. I cheated. I gave her an A. The reason I gave her an A is because I didn't want her to flunk out of school. And you might be saying, oh, you shouldn't have cheated. Well, to me, grades aren't important. People are important. And this was a very, very special person. Like I said, she's the most significant person in my life. She moved me more than anybody. In fact, that first year, I probably cheated a lot for her. I had her sign up for my classes, and I would cheat constantly. But there was something very interesting. By the time she went into her sophomore year, she was reading about 8th grade level. Seriously, that's pretty good for somebody who couldn't even read to start with. To make a long story short, by the time she got to her junior year, I wasn't helping her at all, and no one else was either. She was literally the smartest kid on our campus. I'm serious about that. Every time I think about it, it just gives me chills. And then, at the end of her junior year, she came to me, and she said, Judd, I heard you have a speaking engagement at Floyd Junior College. There's something wrong. And I said, yeah. And she said, do you think you could take me home because I want you to meet my parents? She lived up in Cedartown. You know where Cedartown is? I said, sure, Lynn, I'm glad to do that. So we made arrangements that we'd meet. And remember, she came to my office. Now, she was going home for the summer, right? She came to my office, and she was carrying her clothes. I'm serious about this, in a Kroger sack. She had no clothes. And then we got in the car. I remember it was raining that night. Like I said, this girl could make me cry in a heartbeat. She got in the car, we were driving, and she turned to me and she said something really heartbreaking. She said, Judd, can you do me a big favor? And I said, sure, what? She said, please don't tell my parents how stupid I am. And I remember, I said, Elaine, you're not stupid. In many ways, you're a genius, an absolute genius. You're an inspiration. And then we went by this light pole, and the light was shining on the windshield, and she was crying. See, she took her education serious. It was really a gift. We don't do that. When I got to Cedartown, I pulled up into her yard, and she lived in a Butler building. You know what a Butler building is? It's just a great big tin building. That's all it was. And when we went inside, there was no chairs, no tables. All there was beds. There was 15 people living in this building. It was about as big as this room. Can you imagine that? Even in the kitchen they had a bed. And when we ate supper that night, we had to sit on a bed and we used a little coffee stand. We had catfish. I hate catfish. But it was the best meal I ever had. Because these people, they didn't have PhDs. They didn't know what a PhD was. But they were loving, caring, gracious people. It was the best meal I ever had. The best time I ever had. And when I left that night, Elaine came to my car. I'm sorry. She's seen the feminine side of me. And she said, you see why I have to matter? See, the purpose of education is to matter, is to count, is to stand for something. It's not getting a degree. That's bullshit. Anyway, to make a long story short, when Elaine graduated from college, I'm not lying about this, you can check. She took the GRE, you know what GRE is? Graduate Record Exam. Finished in the top 5% of the nation. NTE, I think, was the top 8% of the nation. She's now a principal, she's now married, 3 kids, and she's a testimony that ordinary people can do extraordinary things.